You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned into the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The entire crew is here, starting off with my man Longevity,
Hi.
who's in good spirits.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, man.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
My man Jay Moore is in the building. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Kick it but not high. Flapping but can't fly. It's all good as long as the sun's in the sky.
Oh, man.
Got some more
Game
today.
out here. Okay. My man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations.
Good to see you, brother.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
What y'all sipping out of, man? We got some looks familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a Jay Diff
Old head.
bobblehead
Yeah.
mug.
I got the Bringing Down the Band one.
Yeah,
but,
still on brand though. Still on brand. Yeah. These are pretty cool. Shout out to the homie Red August,
You can buy them on newoldheads.com.
who's in the building. Yes, you
Plug.
can. Doing what he does. We appreciate you as always. Shout out to the chat. We see y'all.
What up?
Let's see.
Though.
What up, though? Chat didn't. There's one. No, it's not. Sorry, I thought the chat.
False alarm.
Thought the chat threw us a random topic. Y'all didn't see it. Nobody saw anything this week that.
It was kind of a light week, man.
Yeah, like
It's way, when the week thing is, everything first starts up, first of the year, everybody got a lot of stuff out of the way, fourth quarter,
Yeah.
as far as releasing music.
There was some good, I will say there was some decent music that dropped in the last week, though.
Yeah.
So
Definitely we talked about
that
the
Benny the Butcher, J.
Cole.
yes.
we're dropping
Wow.
we do the turn off your radio thing on Bringing Down the Band. So if you want to find new hip hop stuff, we drop that every Wednesday now.
I tell you
So,
what, man.
Check it out.
As we were talking about prior to coming on, J. Cole destroyed that song. Now Benny got off.
He got off.
Benny got off.
I mean, Benny always does his thing.
I
What?
feel like
J. Cole bodied that.
Did J. Cole have a shot at Benny too? Because he kind of,
It kind of sounded like he did.
because he was talking about like drug rap. A little
Yeah.
bit.
He kind of did have
Yeah.
a shot at him on his
Yeah.
own.
I felt that.
Oh,
Yeah. Thanks.
Stuff.
Yeah, it's all right.
Got to be conscious of these things.
Hey.
Look, you see Long with his third eye. He pointed to his third eye. See,
This is the fourth and fifth eye. It's
Is that
mine.
what that is?
but no, he got busy, man. Shout out to J. Cole. I know people that are cool, like not fond of J. Cole but respect him. And one of my homies was like, "Man, J. Cole got busy, and I'm not really a J. Cole fan, but he bodied that verse." So far, verse of the year is early, but
Very early.
very
Bruh
early.
said he had that line where he said he can't do if Jesus asking for a feature.
Yeah,
It followed up by something. I don't remember the exact, but I was like, wow.
I don't know what it said, but it was good.
It was.
yeah, it was fire.
Try it out.
Yeah. Not going to mess it up by trying to recite
What's the name
somebody
of the
else's
song?
lyrics.
What's the song called? It's
It's
like,
produced by The Alchemist too, by the way.
was it?
Yeah, he produced that one. Beat is cold to me.
What's
I
the
like.
name of that song?
Um,
Hold on,
did
I
y'all?
got
Did
it.
anybody? Well, I know we're familiar, but maybe to the listeners.
Johnny
but,
P's Caddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nick Grant. I'm a fan of Nick Grant.
Yeah.
I am as well.
The album that he dropped it's probably the closest.
When he dropped the album? I missed it.
Like 2018.
Yeah,
Well,
he
well,
just
I'm
dropped.
into that.
Don't do that. He
I'm
just
into
dropped. It was recent. And how recent? I don't know. I know it came out this year. But his
This
album.
year it's we're only 31 days in.
What's today's date?
February 1st.
February 1st.
Mm-hmm.
More than
It was 31 days.
Come on, man.
Today ain't all the
Anyway.
way over. Patty Pendergrass.
But no, that Nick Grant is fire. Very funky. Outkast. It reminds me of
Welcome to Loveland?
Organized Noise and Outkast. Very funky. I think y'all will like it. I would suggest running that one. Production is fire.
This isn't Welcome to Loveland, is it?
Yes, I believe that's what it's called. It's got the
Produced by Eminem.
what?
I mean, that's what it says. I'm looking at it right here. It
Oh,
says,
okay.
Album snapshot, Nick Grant, Welcome to Loveland. And it says produced by Eminem.
Produced the whole album.
Not the music I heard.
Yeah, we'll have to check the credits on that.
Yeah. Maybe this is just a song. I don't know.
Because but Nick Grant snapped. I think we talked about underrated artists. He's definitely one of them that I failed to mention. I think he's every time he drops high quality product to me. So I'm a fan of him. I would suggest that one. I would run that one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've heard that came out that was dope. We talked about the Benny. Jay Moore, you didn't heard anything else other than pretty much the Benny and
No, I mean,
J.
I'm not sure. The way music is now, I'm not sure if this is a setup for an entire project or, maybe it's a collaboration. But it's just, I think it. I just take songs for what they are. Is it a record I like? Yeah. I can't worry about rollouts.
Yeah.
At this point in the game, because really, what is a rollout in 2022?
They are, when I say they, these stuff just pops up on timelines or what have you. Kendrick might be dropping something pre-Super Bowl.
Bro,
it would make sense, but
it would make sense.
I mean, I don't really care about a rumor from somebody who's less in the music industry than me.
I heard that. Got me there. I mean, I hope he drop is all I'm saying. I'd be.
Kendrick is so in his own realm of artistic expression. He might not even drop anything. He's just like, y'all get it when I'm ready for you to have it.
I mean,
this is a dope joint here.
What's that?
Cool G Rap with Lil Fame and Freeway.
Really?
Yeah, I listen to anything with Freeway on.
Yeah, they got this song called Wise Guys. It's pretty dope.
Oh, okay. Shout out to G Rap. Legendary.
Yeah.
I have to check that out.
We could maybe come back to talking about the producer stuff we were meaning to talk about a while back too, perhaps.
Oh, would possibly starting another bracket.
I already started it in Discord. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but maybe if we have time at the end of the show, maybe we can bring it up or something. But
I saw Ninth Wonder. He made a post about a song that he had done with someone, and Primo was doing the scratches on his radio show, and Ninth was talking about how even for him it's really cool to see one of his heroes cutting up one of his joints on the radio, because he said they used to be in the dorm. And his people used to argue about, RZA versus Primo, and they used to have those conversations. And we've all had those conversations about who, which producer does what. And I was thinking about, funny you mentioned the producers. I was trying to come up with a list of probably the 10 or I don't know, 10 is usually a good number of Primo's coldest beats. And it was one of the hardest things for me to do. There's too many.
Because they all sound similar too.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you talking
Did you add the Fred Durst beat on there?
It's all for the Nookie. Did he do that one?
No, he did.
Lone Stupid.
No. He did the one
with Method Man on there.
Yeah. But like, are there any beats that jump out in your head automatically when you think Preem?
Definitely the one with Christina Aguilera.
If I could throw
Royalty.
But I like that record. I don't. Christine,
I'm not mad at it.
Nas is like.
Not yet, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Joint. What's the
Mass Appeal?
Mass Appeal.
Mass Appeal.
What's the one where it was like the Air Force, or it was the shoe one? It was like Kanye.
Classic.
Rakim.
Because see, the thing is, his version is the B side, but that's the one everyone knows. The A side is Rick Rubin.
Because they were on the roof and with the graffiti and everything. That joint was cold. Terry said Royalty. I'm Above the Clouds for me.
Yeah,
immediately comes to mind with him. He just has so many. He has so many bangers, iconic bangers.
What's the beat that goes bum 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 bum?
Oh yeah,
you're gonna have to invent that app that's just gonna pick that one up.
So Ghetto by Jay-Z off of Volume 3. That's another one.
I'll take that. I don't know if it's. Yeah, I'll take that. I'm trying to think.
What was Right Where You Stand? Was that Primo?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That was on Owners. Yeah.
He's.
I like Owners.
10 Crack Commandments.
10 Crack Commandments. That's another one. I don't know, man. To get 10. I think it's
10 of them.
10 of them.
I don't think it'd be too hard.
No, not hard at all.
My thing is, the reason I say hard is because once you name 10, you're gonna be like, dang, I forgot about words that I manifest by Gangstar. That's what I'm saying. I forgot about this. I forgot about that. And Primo's catalog,
my steez. Come on now, like we
See,
can do this
you
all
still
day.
going. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what's gonna be fun about this bracket.
I'm still trying to think of that.
Which you got me thinking about it now.
All for You remix from Janet Jackson.
Hold on, I think I know where you're
It's a
going.
Gangstar song.
What
Yeah.
is?
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that. Yeah, I know what you're. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the title.
Oh man, I feel bad
Now because I know
the
what
song.
you're now I know what
exactly
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't call the song. Is that on
Full clip.
Full
Yeah,
clip?
full clip. There
Yep.
we go. There we go. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
I'm so glad I would have bothered me.
Yeah, that was gonna bother me.
I'm
If
glad
I
we
didn't
got
think
it.
of that.
Yeah.
Because it's got the
That mug is cold. Moment of truth. I remember buying, going to the store, hype, buying that. I remember that vividly.
I bought owners. I remember buying. I remember when I figured out his science.
You talking about Preem?
Yeah, I remember when I figured out how he made beats and,
What's-
his structure.
What sparked like?
I was just curious. I wanted to make something like Primo. It was what
Oh,
it
okay,
was.
okay.
And I just was listening. I was like, how's he doing? Because all his beats are similar, but they have this like feel to it. And he had like there was like a gap in like all of his beats.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
even that was like bum 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 space. Bum.
Yeah.
It was like an opening.
Oh, you know what? Another
Yeah.
record, Boom by Royce da 5'9".
Oh,
I'd have
like-
to hear it. I don't remember it.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to.
don't do that. Yeah, we don't need you. Yeah, I don't need you to do that. I don't need you to do that. No,
that is not
we don't
not-
need that. I don't need that. Leave that alone.
It'd be
That's
just our
cool.
luck that'll get us a copyright strike somehow.
We don't want that.
I don't think I'm that good.
I mean, he got heat. I just thought about the heat with Royce.
They're records.
Primo,
Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah.
Did he do?
Yeah, they got a whole album
cocaine?
together. No, he didn't do that one.
Oh well, that's one of my favorite ones.
But now, a moment of
They
truth.
should do another Prime. That was actually a good project.
I got two.
Mm-hmm.
Should do another one.
Did y'all see? Game said it, that he and Hit Boy are about to be. And he started throwing names out like.
Calm down. Calm down.
I want to make sure I give y'all the comparison.
Something about Dre.
Yeah, I see.
Well,
Well
Nas
played.
had already said to him and
Well played.
Hit Boy was a new Primo and Gang and Guru.
He said, Game said after his comes out, they're gonna be Swiss and DMX. They're gonna be. I see what you did, and he named 2 or 3 other combinations, and I'm like,
Game is the king of hyperbole when it comes to hip hop and always just overstating things.
who do you trust?
And the thing is, I liked Game's last record. It made my year-end list.
That was a good record.
But who do we trust? Who do we trust more in this union? I believe in Hit Boy more than I
Well,
do
the thing
Game.
is, Game is
And I like
actually
Game.
a very dope rapper. But what's the over under on how many times he's going to name drop Dr. Dre on this new project?
Depends how long
Or-
the track list is.
Depends how long the track list is.
If it's 12 tracks,
Yeah,
12 times.
No,
Nah, I
'cause
done- I done
he
heard-
drops it multiple times on tracks.
That's true. That's true. So it
I
could
done
be
heard-
24. It could be 37.
Well, he might
Yeah.
decide to, also mention Eazy-E.
I
Suge
mean, he's
Knight.
been the
Jay-Z, he's going to mention Jay-Z
Yeah.
again.
I mean, there's a level, but there's a line somewhere in there between like homage and just doing it too much.
I mean,
you've literally been doing it your whole career. Like on the first album, it was like, okay, we get it. That was dope.
Yeah.
First album was.
I mean,
then
Dr. Dre actually
Even the
did
second album, it's like, okay,
he called it the Doctor's
kind of doing the
Advocate,
same thing that you were doing on the last album.
And Dr. Dre didn't produce any of the records.
None of them.
hey, that first one is a classic though.
No, it was.
No, nobody's
It
gonna
should have been
dispute that.
50 Cent's album.
Facts. Now I'm with y'all on that. I think I wouldn't do the over under because it could get bad. I've heard him. He's been the spirit of Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre reincarnated. Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre's still alive. Can't be reincarnated from somebody that's still living.
Yeah.
I'm not. Hey, listen.
Look, they're going to have extra security
He
at the
gonna
Super Bowl
figure out new ways
to
to say,
make sure Game
say
doesn't
it.
try to
He
run
gonna
on
say
stage.
Andre Young,
Yeah.
Dr. Dre,
Yeah.
Doc.
Doc.
Back when Dre was young.
The DRE,
Yeah.
Bruh,
the DR.
I done heard it multiple ways. Game is like to Terry's point. Be clear,
Dr.
he makes good albums. But I'm cool on the name dropping at this point, and I know it's gonna happen. But I trust Hit Boy to give him a West Coast inspired Hit Boy would be very dope to me.
Is it gonna be better than the Hit Boy Nas collaborations?
Got some work to do.
He's got some work. Yeah, he's gonna have
it
some
just
work.
depends on who you like more.
Because Big Sean dropped a project with Hit Boy that didn't go over all that well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't
It's okay.
memorable.
It just
Like,
wasn't
was
a Nas.
cool.
It's not the Nas joints.
Nah, it's not. But if Game gets in his bag, if
He's
Game
gonna get in his
if
bag.
he get in his bag and the production is what I think it is,
deny Game
it's got potential to be fire.
as far as rapping. He's gonna rap.
Yeah.
It just depends on where he takes it and how many times he name drops Dr. Dre.
But I don't want. This is just me as a consumer. I don't need it to be 19 joints. I don't need that many songs, man. I short and concise like Nas and Hit Boy have done. Let's get in and get out.
Well, the last project was a short one, but the one before that was a little longer.
How many tracks is on King's Disease 2? That's what I have to look up. I don't think that one
Say
had
12.
12, maybe 12-ish. That's not bad. I can do 12, but
I don't care.
What's the over under how many times China said I don't care on the show?
One per.
One, it's
At least.
it's one per. Yeah.
like
So what episode is this?
274.
Yeah, 274 then.
Add 10 to 20 for
Yeah.
for a cushion.
Yeah.
I don't think I say more than once. Well, maybe possibly.
It depends. If you don't
I
care.
don't think I've said it in like the last 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, but you doubled up on a few
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah, so it always catches up. Yeah.
I don't
Catch
care.
up.
See, there we go.
Yeah, it is. All right, man. Let's go. Let's go ahead and jump into the rundown. Shout out to the chat, y'all. Definitely
I need to put that on a mug.
cracking in here. So, all right, man. So I saw that the great 50 Cent has confirmed that his next full length album will be his last. Now we know 50. It's been a while since we have, mentioned it. 50 as it relates to music or making, putting out dope product. He came out the gate though. We know that we were.
Yeah, it's
But
an
yeah.
undeniable classic out the gate.
Mhm.
Yes, no doubt about it. I don't even want to. I don't even think that's a discussion. We're good on that. But with 50 dropping his last album, I don't know. To me, it's like he is going so far beyond music now. With all the stuff that he's doing in TV.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter anymore at this point.
Yeah, I don't even think it's going to hit with it being his last album. But what do you guys think is going to be bigger for his legacy in terms of how people remember 50? Because I've always associated 50 with music up until his recent surge in the TV game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, he's not going anywhere.
no, I'm not saying he's going anywhere. I'm just
But-
saying once the music is quote unquote done, and he'll probably still drop records associated with the shows and
Well, you
do
gotta
stuff like that.
You got to kind of sum it up to, in the past 10 years,
What do you think?
what has 50 Cent been known for? He hasn't really been known for his music in the past 10 years.
Nope.
It's more so his online presence,
Yep.
trolling, and TV shows, producing, things of that nature.
It's funny you said
Not
trolling, and
necessarily-
I agree.
Not necessarily his music. So I think it's actually smart on his part to go ahead and just say, let me focus on this other lane.
Go ahead,
because
Greg,
this
just
is
bow
really
out.
working for me,
Yeah.
and keep it pushing.
Is there any level of? We remember we were talking about anticipation for projects and who would get you excited.
No,
Does this even
I mean,
rank?
I'll listen to it. I'm sure
Don't do
everybody
that long.
in here will listen to it at least once, but I haven't been excited about a 50 Cent project probably since the Massacre.
Ever. I've never been
Ever?
excited. No. I mean, I Get Rich or Die Trying is a great album, but I've never been excited to hear 50.
Mm.
Even when him and Kanye had their little back and forth thing, I was
I
like,
remember that.
I'm not going to listen to 50 Cent. So.
That's when Curtis dropped. Well, I'll take that back. His first 3 albums, I was tapped in.
Yeah, they're good.
After Curtis is when I kind of was like,
Before I Self-Destruct had some joints on it.
yeah. Now he had some
The
joints
singles
here and
didn't hit, but like there were songs off there that were really good.
He had one called Animal. What?
Animal Planet.
No, like
there.
after
There was a lion.
after he
on the cover.
Yeah.
after he got done with Interscope, like that's when
Did it feature LL Cool J?
No.
See?
That's when that's when I
that
stopped
was
paying attention.
phenomenon.
I mean, if it had animals on it.
Stop, man. The only reason I checked for that one is because the homie Nas and QB had a track on there.
I
Shout out
remember
to
that.
them.
If he drops an album that sounds cohesive enough to be like the the themes to his TV shows,
Right.
he might be onto something.
I was gonna ask what you guys think.
Every one of those hit. Every single one of them.
There's a lot of people like on Friday and Saturday nights, you know, whether every night he's playing, Lockstar and I will play This Is a Big Rich Town. Not the one with Trey Songz on it, because nobody liked that. But yeah,
with Joe.
Those records that he makes for, you know, I love the I don't even know who sings it, the theme song to BMF.
Yeah.
You know, At Least You Could Wish Me Luck. That's an incredible, you know, theme song. Hopefully there's a full record of it somewhere.
I don't even watch the shows, and I know him.
Yeah,
I think 50's going to start I think after he does his album, he'll start sprinkling in more joints associated with those they'll probably still be fire.
But this is the thing, you know, and I know, you know, being an artist for artist's sake is, you know, a lot of what we champion here. But at a certain point, and this is where 50 is, he's bigger than rap. You know, like I can't bring myself to say I'd really get excited when the 7 oh no, not only one more 50 Cent rap. You know, I'm not really like that.
Yeah.
You know, but if he told me he was going to stop making TV shows, I'd be a little bit more dismayed, because that's I'm keep it real. Big. And this is not a commercial, but the only reason I keep stars is because 50 has something. He's got a new one coming on February 6th.
Immediately. It's like you can't even cancel it.
No.
Like I was going to cancel my stars, and now there's a new power coming out. So
when I worked for the cable company, like when before he had his shows going back to back to back like he does now, I remember like after like the season finale of I can't remember what it is, might be the second season of Power at that point.
Yeah.
And that next day we got so many calls. People were like, yeah, I'm going to get rid of stars right now. Like they didn't want to pay. Like they felt like there was nothing else to watch but Power. They would get it for Power and then drop it as soon as it was over.
He killing them out there with that.
I was doing the same thing.
You know, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, BMF. I didn't watch 2, which people have told me has gotten good, because I couldn't get through the end of the original Power.
Ghost.
Yeah, because I was like,
I stopped watching it.
These drug dealers are on the cell phone a little bit too much for my liking. But,
we've seen The Wire.
Yeah, I was like, come on, fam.
Yeah.
Like this, you should know a little better than this.
That's what got BMF caught up, was the cell phone.
Yeah,
literally.
So, but like I said, I can only get so excited about 50 Cent's music, and if he tells me, okay, I'm gonna do one more album, I'll take it or leave it. But like right now, he's made himself bigger than rap, and this Hollywood game. Once you get there, we're not talking about recoupables.
He's almost been there ever since he had Vitamin Water. Honestly,
I mean, he's been rich for a minute, so it's not like
tapping in.
He's been rapping for the money
here and there.
Had video games
and does not need the music.
I guess for me, I'm curious about the sound. 50 Cent has always been smart. He always knows how to select production.
He also picks up and coming producers,
right? Which I've always loved about him
historically.
Yeah. So I've always, but I don't want to hear 50 Cent try to. I don't know how to say.
Look, I don't know.
Get that from 50,
I don't know if we can get.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if we can get a grown up 50 Cent. Like, you know, Nas grew up. Jay-Z
Definitely grew up.
I don't know what a grown up 50. You know, because 50 Cent said 444 was like a something you play at a golf course. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just not there. I mean, mind you, the 444 is several years ago now, but come on, like, you know, because the people who love 50, they want to hear that gangster-ish, but that was 20 years ago.
Right. Like, what is 50 Cent going to be
50
talking about?
50 Cent has told people when they was like, yo, come back to the block. He's like, no, I'm not coming back. I see exactly what happens when people go back. And I got too much to do to, you know, so that's not his life anymore. Southside Queens, Jamaica Queens.
Yeah.
He doesn't go back. He if he wants to see anybody from there,
F50.
They can come see him.
True.
Ferrari F50.
Yeah, I think I just want to see the production credits track list and see what the direction is. That's pretty much that would be one thing that
You're good with, because I'm just not that interested in the music.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I mean, I respect
50's bigger than rap now. I stay focused on making this TV show, fam.
Yeah. I mean, but like y'all said, as y'all talked about with the songs that have been associated with the shows, those have been fire. So maybe that carries over into, you know, the record.
I mean,
that
if he can catch
drop.
lightning in a bottle like that on a whole album,
exactly,
I'm gonna give him his P's. But until then, I'm gonna keep watching stars, and even he even had the show on the Felon. What was that show?
For Life. It was on ABC.
Yeah. He was part of that show.
That's him too.
Yeah, that was him too.
That's him too.
And 50 out here getting that
Like,
bread.
he knows what he's doing as far as that's concerned. So, hey, that's where it's at for him.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll be on the
Tell
island.
us how the music sounds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to it.
I'm gonna run it, man. I'll be on the island on this one. I just want to see how 50 sounds now and what the updated 50.
I've never been like a huge 50 Cent fan as far as like being a rapper or anything. Like I think he's made good records.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, but he's just never been impressive in outside. He's kind of an anomaly to me, I guess, because he makes really good records, but I've never paid attention to anything that he says. Like ever.
Like I remember when Wankster came out and everybody was so impressed. I was like, what are y'all? This is what y'all going crazy over?
That.
But I mean, when the club hit, I mean, it was undeniable.
Well, I think they was more so excited that somebody was going at Ja Rule so openly, because Ja Rule was kind of running the airways at that point.
Well, this is very true.
I mean, but you know, with 50, he's always been able to pick good records. So like, well, I remember when Window Shopper hit, I was like, I like this.
Yeah,
I like this song.
record.
The song is dope.
Like
you know,
we just was talking about the Game. The Game's first album was pretty much supposed to be 50 Cent's second album, and he gave Game those tracks in order to
that might be one of the biggest
dope release.
That might be one of the biggest alley-oops I've ever seen in hip hop. He tossed him a lob with those joints.
Did. There's no
those
way.
Are full records.
There's no way that Game should have been going at G Unit the way he was doing when you were pretty much handed a classic album.
Yeah,
He's an emotional fella.
Yeah.
Emotional fella. Nah, I'm telling you right about that. He shouldn't have had nothing to say.
Nothing.
Because they laced him.
They laced him. Very gracious. Game's even his whole ascension to stardom was very short. Like he literally, like he could have been known for the dating game show.
True.
But he literally
Change Your Heart.
He got shot, was laid up, decided he wanted to start rapping.
Yep.
Start rapping. Was heard on like a freestyle tape or radio show or something, and just ascended from there. He probably was a nobody to somebody within a year's time in rapping.
And the people that he had around him, that's not even, it's almost unrealistic to get that type of lift up.
Well, because he had the projects
that
he did earlier in his career before he got to Aftermath. I want to say he did stuff with the Black Wall Street, and then
he was bubbling, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't. And then like the first time I heard him was when he did, what was it, Certified Gangsters with Jim Jones and them.
Yeah,
but it was really the direction. Because honestly, he had been at Aftermath for a while.
Yeah.
And then, 50 was like, okay, we can do this, 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 and this. How We Do, Hate It or Love It. Those were 50 Cent songs. Man. But, it is what it is. We'll see.
We'll see
if we actually care about new music from 50 Cent and Game soon enough.
From both of them, agreed. If I had to have anticipation, it would be more for Game and Hit Boy, obviously, than it would 50's
I
album.
thought Tony Yayo was your favorite.
Out of G, you thought that was my favorite? Well, man, Tony.
I thought you were a Spider fan.
Well, Tony has some. He has some moments here and there.
Young Buck had a dope album.
I agree.
His first album was crazy.
Yeah,
I agree. Lone, did you like?
I don't like any of these people. And I don't even mean that as any. I mean, I guess you can take it as disrespect, but it's like.
So I took it as disrespect.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean,
I took that as disrespect.
But all I mean by it is like I never got into 50. Never like overly impressed me.
You didn't
outside
have a
of his
G-Unit wife beater?
No, outside of like the fact that he could make hit records and he had great producers and production and executive producers around him. Yeah. Same with the Game. Like Game's made some crazy records, but to me it was more about the people he had around him than him. So like I don't mean like I don't know, like so when I listen to the Game or any of G Unit, I'm just not enthused in general.
I respect that. That's your opinion. I can dig it.
But if they drop a record and it's good, it's like, all right, cool. But I couldn't even quote you a 50 Cent bar.
You know what? You might be onto something there because
it's just his product. His overall product is so good.
As much 50, I'm not saying I'm the biggest 50 Cent fan, but what you just said is real. I don't know of a lot of 50 Cent quotables. Like where it's just like, remember the bar 50 said where he said, you can say
he's
that about.
He's not a quotable artist. Like
He's not.
that,
But you know what? You know why 50 Cent kills it, and why when during his ascension and why it worked, he knew how to write a hook and he knew how to create.
Absolutely.
He was probably the best songwriter at one point in hip hop, and it wasn't even close.
And I'll give you that. I'll give you that because I feel like songwriting, just overall songwriting, choruses, hooks, production, overall product, yeah, for sure. But like if we single out like just him as a rapper, like I'm not interested.
If you think about it, he used to say all the time, forget the Grammys, like we're going to the Billboard Awards. I'm writing these songs. He used to talk about that all the time, and he was.
And that too, yeah, and I would agree.
Yeah, he was killing the charts. So. Great songwriter. You got to give him his piece on that. I agree with that. But
I mean, you put enough money around anybody, you can make him a star.
Yeah. Ooh, and he has the persona though.
But at the same time, I've seen them put money around people, and nobody gave a F.
Yeah, but I've also seen the opposite.
Yeah, we seen. Yeah,
I mean, I understand. But there was some like sometimes the stars line up for somebody because there's a chance if 50 Cent came a year earlier or a year later, it wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked like that.
We tried. He was.
Yeah, I mean, when he tried it before he got shot.
Run. It's kind of the same way with Drake though. Him and 50 Cent are similar in that because they came out, it didn't happen for him. And then something else happened, and then they were able to get on like they wanted to.
And it was a wrap after that.
Yeah.
Marketing.
So I mean, it's marketing money. You could say that with any artist. Like you could put the same push behind him. Like I've always said that with Nelly. The stars line. If he comes a year earlier with the same records, it doesn't work. If it comes a year later, same records, it doesn't work. Just because the marketplace, especially, even then, people. For you to grab somebody's attention, it happens so fast, and you have to. There are market things that happen. We receive the music. Like I remember, like radio really wasn't trying to mess with country grammar outside of St. Louis, but the thing is, the people loved country grammar. So like, when there were still markets that had the box. And you could call up and get. As long
as you can see the video, then that's
when the video
right
dropped out. That was part of what they said. Wait a minute, people like this record.
Yeah,
because the industry, some people, but that's the thing. The industry did not pick Nelly. They didn't want some kid from St. Louis in this low budget video because country grammar, comparatively speaking,
wearing Band-Aids all wrong.
When everybody had $1 million video, they was Noriega had $1 million video. That's how hip hop was moving at that point. And here's this basically video with just regular people in it from the neighborhood.
Video was kind of low budget than a month.
Now that was low budget.
No, that was low. But
that was almost culture shock.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of like wow.
No, when I saw
are they in a junkyard?
No, when I saw you couldn't ignore seeing a yellow Ferrari in the middle of the hood in New Orleans. You couldn't act like you didn't see that. No. But like this, I know this for a fact. Like all the nice cars in the country grammar video, those were just people's cars. They was
people from the neighborhood. It was just because the same thing was going on here. Yeah, that's why people relate, like especially Midwest, because when you see the country grammar video, it looks like where you're at.
These weren't
and then he's shouting out Midwest states in the song.
Go and look at the country. There's no clearly these are girls from the neighborhood. These this is probably some dope boys navigator. Like
it still ain't as bad.
Very
still wasn't as bad as high.
Hey,
back that thing up.
Yeah, no, they're both. You know what? Real quick, you ever watched a TV show and they're shooting a scene and it's like you can just tell it's from the Midwest?
Yeah.
Like that's something people from the Midwest. Like if you try to like shoot a Midwest scene in like California or somewhere, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
I was watching something. I was like, I remember this like last week, and I was like, they're somewhere close.
No, because
I agree with that.
Because the movie Parenthood with Steve Martin is supposed to be set in St. Louis, but it doesn't look like St. Louis.
If you're from to Lone's point, if you're from the Midwest, you know what the Midwest.
No,
don't have palm trees.
This looks like a Midwest highway with a Midwest church on the side. Of it.
All right, man.
Houses.
Let's shout out our partners real quick, and I guess we've learned that Ha was Shot in the what you say in the junkyard?
Not quite, but hey.
Junkyard.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
Chad is really acting a fool out here. I see y'all. Thank you for the support as always. It's funny, we were doing, I think was it last week that we mentioned Lone mentioned the cool kids, right? Was it last week?
I don't know.
We talking about the underrated, or I feel like me and you had a conversation about them somewhere.
I don't know.
We have conversations like that on a regular basis.
I'm getting old, y'all.
You know,
so.
Mike tried to single out who said what. And
I was like,
always
was that me?
wrong. Yeah, I got like a 10% accuracy on that mug.
You're like Mike Spools hasn't been here in a year.
He's here in spirit.
Yeah, shout out to the homie Spools. We just had a birthday, actually.
Yeah, not
birthday,
say that.
brother. Yeah, I'm like, I got like a 10% accuracy on that, so just y'all bear with me.
I feel like Brad was talking about it.
Yeah, I'm trash when it comes to that. I can openly admit that. But so the Cool Kids are going to drop an album, and it's a triple album.
Too much.
That's what I wanted to ask y'all. So there's going to be, the first part is called Before Expletive Got Weird.
Okay.
And then the next two chapters are going to be Before Stuff Got Weird. And then it'll be 2 solo albums, one from each artist. So
that's a little different then.
my question to you all is, you kind of hit on it, Terry. Is that extra or concept albums? Does anybody even care about?
Is it a concept album?
Well, they're calling it a triple album,
but it's not a concept.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's a concept album.
I'll say the concept of them dropping a triple album. I'll say it that way. Like, how many triple albums have we seen?
That's not really a concept.
I mean, the way that
or the idea
concept,
of a triple album.
Concept is generally like a Prince Paul album. That's a concept.
Or
album.
Nas Untitled or something like that. I see what y'all saying. I'm
like
using the wrong word.
American Gangster.
Right, that's a concept.
Jay-Z,
so I'm using the wrong word. But
just the idea.
The idea of a triple album.
3 albums in a streaming.
Well, the way that when you put it to me like it's a group album, 1 album, and then 2 solos.
Right.
That's a little different. I'm thinking it's like 3 albums of all just
like
cool kid stuff.
Yeah,
it depends on how they drop it too.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, because it says they're going to part 2 and it'll be a part 3. I just don't know. Like, you kind of hit it on when you were like doing too much, because I don't think now in the streaming era, it's just people drop stuff. It just comes out and then it's on to the next one.
Maybe they're just letting people know it's coming. I don't know. I don't know. I'm interested.
I'm interested.
I know it was. I think there was some sort of weird issue with their name, I think is what it was. Like, they couldn't make music as the Cool Kids, which is why they stopped making music as the Cool Kids. Like, I don't know if they signed like an independent record deal or something like that. It was something weird which is why they went so solo. I think. I could be wrong, but I got too much random stuff in my head, but I'm almost certain that's why they didn't drop so many records, records for so long.
Those guys were always, you talked about it before we came on, about how ahead of their time they were and how unique their sound was. And they haven't dropped anything since 2017. Now this project with them coming back would have my attention way more than what we just talked about with.
Yeah, exactly.
Curtis. You know what
I mean, and like I said, no diss against the game or 50, but I'm much more interested in hearing the Cool Kids.
And I've already heard one of their singles, and it's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it sounds like Chuck.
Oh,
it sounds like
production too.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
I mean, Chuck is a unique rapper, anyways.
Yep.
He's kind of, I don't know, he's different, but even his production is unique.
I don't think they got enough P's for the creativity in their production from, I guess, the masses, if you would. That was one of the things that drew me to them, is how unique.
I don't think they were big enough.
You think that's the case? Never got. I was living in Chicago, so
they're big in Chicago.
Yeah,
but outside of that, I mean, they're in like almost pre-blog era, or like right in the very.
Yeah, they were
beginning.
right there at the peak of it too.
Yeah.
So, but I would say the peak, or maybe a little past the peak, is when they were dropping a lot of solo stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Sir Michael Rocks and Chuck English. He was producing a lot too.
I actually got a vinyl, Chuck English vinyl, that came out on Record Day one year back then.
I remember to your point about the pre-blog and all that, when I was living in Chicago, man, it was, you couldn't turn from hearing the cool kids, hearing about them shows.
Right.
People trying to get features.
What was their initial big underground record? Was it?
And it's been so long,
Go
man.
on the pager.
Black Mags.
Black Mags.
Black Mags
or
was
maybe
big.
it was one of those two. I think it was Black Mags.
But those records used to go
one of those two.
off, and they were huge there. I remember that era vividly. But this
sound is so unique.
Yes,
like nobody. And we were talking about this earlier. Nobody really sounds like them, and still don't sound like them. Really, I'm surprised nobody's reached out to Chuck English for production.
Agreed.
I mean, we saw it for a while. I mean, we saw. Yeah, I think he worked with like Mac and a bunch of underground people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause there was a good, I think 3, 4, or 5 years where you would see Chuck's name pop up. I think Asher Roth even.
Okay.
You know,
and the artists that you're naming though,
they're super underground, but he was dropping a lot of stuff with a lot of these people.
And his production style and the lane that they carved out isn't necessarily for everybody. You got to be, I would think, you'd have to be a certain type of artist to want to hop on one of those. Like the type of production that they have. Like when you say Mac, I'm like, that makes sense to me. I could see that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could. A lot of these kids now, and a lot of the artists that come out now, I don't know if everybody's gonna be able to just hop in that bag.
I feel like it could be a wave though. Like I feel like they're just, I don't know, like it's just so different. I feel like it could catch on. I don't know. Maybe not super mainstream.
I gotta hear that record that you're talking about now. I'm
forget what it's called. But
yeah, if you find the name of that, let me know because I want to check that out. But
It's Yours Part 2.
That's what it's called. Okay, might be in here. It is here. It's in my article.
It's co-produced by *𝗡𝗄𝗄 𝗛𝗲𝗓.
Really? Okay. Heat.
Yeah, he's got heat.
He got heat. Let me see if the chat. They started the whole retro. Brothers to the Night. Yeah, retro vibe. Black Mags.
Yeah, they did or were responsible for a lot of the retro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
Brother to the Night pointed that out. Appreciate you.
But I feel like if they drop like their album and then they follow it up with like Chuck and Mikey's staggered, single wise, I think it'll be all right. If they drop it all at the same time, I feel like you're probably going to lose a lot of that gusto. Maybe
a lot of music it's a lot to drop.
Yeah, unless you're going to drop like a video or for everything or something with everything, which even still is. I don't know if I would do that.
So that might be a super overkill with
the videos too.
Yeah.
Well, I've always wanted somebody to actually make a video for each one of their songs on the album.
Yeah.
And I usually when I listen to albums too, it's weird. I can visualize certain songs and how the video should look. And I'm surprised nobody's ever.
I feel like somebody's probably done it.
Well, Marcus Houston did it. That doesn't count.
Didn't Beyonce do it? I mean, you're talking about. I don't think.
Yeah, I guess Beyonce did.
She did that with Lemonade.
I think Ice-T did it. And I'm
don't do that.
I'm not kidding.
Don't do that.
In 1987, he did it.
I'm not kidding. I think
Ice-T ain't no videos for.
I think Ice-T has a video for everything on the OG album.
Really?
I think he has a whole. Yeah. He was on Warner Brothers. He was getting.
How many songs is on?
How many songs on that album?
Because I was watching
more.
videos heavy then. I know I ain't see.
I think he put out. You had to buy the VHS, the OG video VHS.
Oh, it's a VHS. I mean, that's kind of like Moonwalker.
Yeah.
Or even Jay-Z, Streets is Watching.
Now, Streets is Watching was dope.
Yeah, if you're talking about buying something that a companion to the album per se, but like just like if all of them were on like BET or MTV or something.
What's a hip hop song that you would have liked to seen a video to?
Lots of them, really.
If I could think,
there's one at the top of my list.
well,
your
wish has been granted.
Yeah.
No,
you can go watch that now.
I always thought it would have been incredible if NWA did a video for Gangsta Gangsta. Because it's set, like the way Ice Cube wrote that song is so visual. Like,
now you got me thinking, man.
I just would love to see a video for that.
Now you got me thinking. That's a good question.
I'd have to think about this because I don't really care about music videos like that. You know what I mean? Like in the sense of like Yeah,
and it would have to be something old. Like I
used to love music videos.
I used to, and I think they're important still. But
no, they're not really important.
I think there's still a place in marketing for them. I mean, YouTube's still the biggest search engine. YouTube's still huge.
That's part of why NBA YoungBoy is who he is, honestly, because he does so well on YouTube.
Look, shout out to my man B Nasty, the blend master. When I was hosting the Busta Rhymes concert, he was playing the music during the whole time.
Yeah,
and they actually had his setup to where he was mixing the songs and had the videos on the big screens at the venue.
That's fine.
And I was like, I didn't know there was a video for this. This is there's a lot of colorful stuff going on here, and lots of beautiful young ladies in these videos. I have to start getting back into hip hop videos.
You know, he already puts out a lot of music videos, but I would say like I really enjoy Flying Lotus's approach to music videos. I don't know if you've seen his, but they're just so.
His are more like
creative and artsy.
Some of them shocking.
Yeah. But they're always like super. Like he has one video that was done by the guy who made. I don't know if you've seen the Salad Fingers series.
I have not. Red August laughing, so it must be something.
So like he did one of his videos for him, and it was pretty cool. It was like interestingly weird. Like all of his videos are kind of weird, but
Tyler the Creator does a good job.
Yeah, he does. Tyler the Creator's visuals are always dope.
And even with his last album, I think he's dropped like 4 videos for that.
Really? Yeah. Tyler the Creator does great with his visuals. Those help with the engagement, I think, with him. He's fire with that.
Yeah,
and it carries over to the live performance too, because he'll set the stage up the same way as those videos, which is dope.
So it's interesting that you say that though, that you think. I know a lot of people that think the opposite, like kind of like what Jay Moore was saying with the power of videos. Like, is there still relevancy there? Does it still, drive engagement?
I think it might just be different than what we were potentially used to. You know,
videos just be.
Videos pretty much ran the culture for a minute.
Yeah, videos were important.
But you can still see, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
People are still watching them, and the numbers are still going up, visualizers. Even that's to the point to where people aren't even putting out like just straight singles of audio anymore. They're putting visualizers on their singles, so it's doing cool, weird stuff.
No, when you go and look at YouTube and you see like videos from our era, they've got maybe 10, 15 million views. You see something that's a hit now, billions of views.
Yeah, especially like K-pop and stuff like that.
I'm talking about like, I saw some Rihanna song had like 800, 900 million views.
Certain artists are killing.
Yeah.
Especially some artists that are like really bubbling underground that we don't even pay attention to.
They're able to get 4 or 5 million views through YouTube.
Even that goofy Tom McDonald gets tons of views.
So videos are important. I misspoke. I think about it, and when I look about the analytics behind it, and seeing what the numbers actually are, and the fact that when your video was getting played on MTV or BET, even though it's only just this little bit of money every time your video is played on YouTube, it's still more than what you were getting if you were getting played on MTV 7 to 8 times a day.
Because the average Joe can put out a video on YouTube, and be rich if it gets enough views.
Because once it go,
just reviewing
out of there.
Other people's videos. Like there are people who are making good livings for themselves. Just by saying, "Hey, let's do a reaction video to." It doesn't even have to be music.
There's a kid that's making millions of dollars by playing with toys. Has his own toy line now at Target.
So I
know he got his own line.
Visual media, honestly, and the DIY model can take you a lot further now than it could at any time in history.
And I think to your point, I think there was a time where music videos were an absolute necessity.
Definitely. Because
and I don't think
tuning in for a world premiere of a video.
Yeah.
It was huge.
And even within the last decade, they were still super, super important. But I think maybe the market share of it all is kind of like moved a little bit. Like it's not like it's the only thing that's important. Like, short form content is probably more important than music videos.
Yeah.
That wasn't always the case by any means.
Well, also, when you if you were going to get a video, you had to get a certain level of film stock. You had to, go out and actually secure locations and this, that, and get permits. If you got the new iPhone.
It was a for real production.
If you have a new iPhone now, you know, you can get out and shoot something that looks as good as something that was shot for $1 million in the 90s.
No, oh, for sure.
You can do it with an Android too.
Yep.
Talk to him about the Mandroids. Yeah,
you can.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, talk to him about the Mandroids.
Hey, 𝗏𝗃 Lex does all of our reviews on Decademics with the iPhone.
Yeah.
And they look very
crispy.
Good.
Yep.
Crispy.
Yeah.
Shoot everything in full HD.
Yeah.
You know, get you once you figure out how to get your audio together and good to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else we got?
All right, man. Let's go to
So our timing's a little weird, but I'm pretty sure we still have like 10 minutes.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Appreciate you, sir, for
We'll see
that.
soon enough.
Joe Rogan. Yeah, see.
Oh yeah.
Who? No, I'm just kidding.
The $100 million man.
Yeah.
He's been. I didn't see his rebuttal.
Is this the 5 o'clock free crack giveaway?
Yeah, actually it is. Was that a? That sounded like a Crowder impression. I don't know.
I used to. But
dude, just real quick.
Yeah,
that Crowder guy is so openly racist on his show, and I don't know how he gets away with it.
Who's this now?
What show?
It's like Crowder and friends. I don't know. It's him and his white supremacist buddies joking about random stuff. And man, they're
Where is this? You know what?
That might be post show. Yeah,
don't
we
tell
can't.
him.
Yeah,
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. We're not going to. If that's the vibe he's on, let's not give him that.
Yeah,
that
we don't
want
want to give him his piece.
Steven. He's huge. He's this guy. Steven Crowder.
Word?
Yeah, I don't.
I'm asleep on that. I ain't gonna lie.
But he does what he does. I know we're off topic real quick, but he does this thing where he does everything, but like it's like he tries really hard to do everything except like say the slur.
What?
I don't know how to explain it, but anyways,
Yeah, you might have
I'll show you guys.
Yeah,
you might have to pull that up
later.
But you know, Joe Rogan has been a little hot water with his podcast, and he is $100 million man. They threw him a bag. But there were
several bags.
Thank you for that, Terry. But a couple artists that weren't too happy with his comments as it related to COVID vaccines, and they pulled their catalogs from Spotify.
Well, it wasn't. They were mad at what his comments necessarily. They were mad at who they brought on the show.
Was it the guest? It was the guest. It wasn't his thought. It wasn't. His thought.
It was more so the fact that he gave a platform to specific
someone
people.
like because I know Neil Young said it's a rap, and Joni Mitchell as well pulled the cap.
A whole bunch of people today came out too.
Oh, there's more people that pulled them. Do you have any?
I saw it on Facebook.
N.D.I.R.E.
Yeah.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah. And there's a couple other people.
I mean, when you actually break it down, it makes sense for them to leave the platform because one, they're making literally not even pennies. It takes so much for them to make money from Spotify. So it's a smack in the face to them that you have this podcast. You're paying him $100 million to be on this platform, and you're literally, this is your lifeblood, is your music, and everything is so flip-flop now that you need for your music to be streamed in order to make something.
Right.
And Spotify's not paying them that much anyway, so technically they're not really losing by pulling away from this platform. Honestly, that's my
no. I mean, you're very right. And plus,
that.
you know, you talk about somebody like
because we know the splits.
What was it Neil Young?
Young, yeah.
You know, look, I'm not saying he's not standing in his convictions.
Yeah.
But you know, he already got $150 million bag for selling the rights to his music.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lot easier to take these principled stands when you already got $150 million or whatever the split is in your bank account for selling the rights to your music. I'm not casting aspersions on his actual principled stand, but I'm just saying he can do that. You know, it's going to, like, Joni Mitchell, shout out to her. N.D.I.R.E., shout out to her. Now, if Drake or Taylor Swift or Doja Cat or one of the or Adele say, yeah, we not rocking with this, now you're talking about a dynamic that's going to have to change. But you got to understand, Joe Rogan already signed that $100 million. He already got the $100 million. There's only so much Spotify. They're already all in on this cat as far as the exclusive content.
100%.
So there's only so much. There's only so much they can do.
Lone, didn't you say Rogan had a rebuttal? I haven't seen it. You said he.
Yeah, I watched his. I mean, Joe Rogan's an interesting character because there was a time when he's always been like a comedian. He's never been like a huge comedian, but he's always been decent. You know what I mean?
He was the Fear Factor guy.
Yeah. That was that too.
And before that, the radio show on NBC with Candy Alexander and
I
don't know about that. Yeah.
Andy Dick and Phil Hartman.
He's always just been around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've
News Radio. That was the name of the show.
We've always kind of known him.
Was he on that show?
He was on that show.
See, I don't even remember him from that show.
But and I'm not a Rogan head by any means. I've seen some of his stuff. Some of his interviews are good. Sometimes he says some stuff I'm just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like he has some weird. Yeah, I get into that else some other time. But
yeah.
For this particular thing, his rebuttal was essentially just kind of acknowledging it. Really, I mean, I wasn't even mad at it. Like he just said, he was like, I understand why people might be upset. He said, my thing is like, I invite people on and we have conversations. He's like, I don't have any agenda. He's like, I book everybody myself still. And he's like, maybe I should do a little bit better job of having the other opinions on as well, shortly afterwards. And he's like, Spotify is going to put a disclaimer at the beginning of the episodes if anything's potentially controversial and stuff like that. He's like, but yeah, so I don't know, like,
took some accountability.
I think he took a decent amount of accountability,
as much as he can possibly take at this point.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I've seen people also come out and say stuff like, "Oh yeah, what about podcast?" I'm sitting here. Obviously, we do a podcast. So I'm like, they're like, yeah, they should vet everything, and all these things need to happen before the show is shot. And I'm just like,
slow down.
I was like,
please slow down.
And I'm just like, look, like at some point in time, we do have to acknowledge that yes. You have to be careful with how you say stuff, right? And the things you say, because you have a responsibility there. But there's really only so much you can do with this. Like, are you really going to take Joe Rogan off the air because he interviewed somebody that had an opinion? You know what I mean? Like,
you can't really do that.
You can't do that.
So
you can't do that.
I don't know. Like, I get it. And he does have a huge cult following, and they seem to eat it up. Everybody thinks that. I mean, the whole take the worm stuff was from him. Because he interviewed somebody and then he subscribed to it. So, it can be dangerous, but at the same time, like, I feel like he's reasonably responsible. He's not.
It's not like someone's making people watch his take on COVID or whatever his hot topic is, or his guest.
Yeah,
you don't have to watch it.
But that's not the argument, though.
I know. I know, but I'm just saying for example, like Oprah, Donahue, Geraldo, they all had people on their shows that weren't necessarily someone that you would G for or like their opinion, but they were still on the show because that's what drove the numbers and the viewership.
That's a good point.
So I mean, now we're in a new day and age where a podcast, Joe Rogan is arguably the biggest. Yeah, the biggest podcast out there.
He's got to be number one.
Close.
He's going to have some topics that are going to push buttons for viewership. I mean, that's just part of the game. I understand that totally. I wouldn't think that he would do anything else, and I'm not mad at Spotify either for not dropping him or
they got too much investment.
Pulling shows.
I don't blame it. Like I said,
I don't even blame Neil Young.
No, I don't blame them either.
Yeah, but you know what is, like I said, this isn't Joe Rogan saying this is my. Now he has said some goofy stuff in the past.
Yes.
Okay, but if he says, okay, I'm going to have a conversation with somebody, just because you don't like who he's having a conversation, you hit it right on the head. That's like on Oprah or Donahue, like they would bring these Klan members on and have the conversation. Or let's just play the other side. When Donahue would bring on Mr. Farrakhan and have conversations with him.
When they had Luke.
Exactly. There's always going to be somebody on there be like, well, I don't agree with this, or I think this is misinformation, or however it is that you want to put it in the context of then and now. Mm-hmm. But, we can't. People having conversations, that's where we got to watch it. I don't want to say watch it. Maybe that's a bit too much, because then someone could say, "Oh, well, you guys talked about this when we were sitting down talking, and we don't have anywhere near the clout of Joe Rogan." Yeah. But if someone said, "No, we're not going to do this because the new old heads said this about so and so and so and so," I was going to keep her name out of it.
There you go, Lone. There you go.
But it is what it is, and
it wasn't even one of the most controversial.
But having. Like I said, having conversations, because he's had Elon Musk, like honestly, I haven't checked for him really because it used to be I'd be able to see the clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, and I always liked when he sat down and talked with comedians. You know, I remember, you know, he talked to John Witherspoon. That was one of my
I watched
favorite.
the entire
you know,
episode.
when he sat down and talked to Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz, or when he sat down and talked to Dave Chappelle. Those, you know, when he's sitting down and talking to Ben Shapiro, I don't care what Ben Shapiro has to say, so I'm not going to watch
comedy.
that episode.
Yeah.
You say Lone is
It's comedy because Ben is goofy.
Yeah, well, that too. But you know, people having conversations that you may not like.
Yeah,
that's a slippery slope.
It is, and it's part of the. I hate to say it, that people are so sensitive about literally everything nowadays. Like, you can't police conversation, and sometimes those conversations are going to get things on the table that need to be on the table and need to be discussed.
Yep.
Or to be refuted. Maybe, you know,
Right.
if next week he has someone on and says, well, this is why this, that, and the third is not right. I'm a doctor. I've done the research. Then it's like there's going to be somebody who on the other side who's like, well, why would you have that doctor on after this with all that research? Where's that research coming from?
Here's the crazy thing, even about the COVID stuff, he brought on the two people that people are upset about are doctors, and they're like high in their field.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that they predicted some of it was actually accurate, you know, like the cloth masks not really
doing anything.
And certain things. So, I mean, it's not like everything that they talked about was 100%.
A lot of people who
invalid.
are outraged haven't even watched the show to know what they're talking
They're
about.
not going to watch it anyway.
That's the
Just like
area,
people
you know,
didn't watch the whole Nicki Minaj clip.
they clearly didn't watch the whole.
You know,
they
but
missed
you know,
the boat
they
on
just
that one.
they found the part that would make them angry.
From my standpoint, I like some of Joe's stuff, other stuff I don't care about. But I will say that I can at least appreciate, for me personally, I can appreciate him actually addressing this and being like, I hear where you guys feel like I should do better, and I'll kind of try to address this. I can appreciate.
Look, because he already got his $100 million. It could be like F all of y'all.
He could have.
I'll give
very
him
much.
For what both of y'all just said. I give him peace for that, for the accountability, because he got his bread, so he don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, I ain't going nowhere.
He could act a fool if he want. But
He could
yeah,
have
I give
doubled
him
down
peace
on
for that.
all this.
He could have, yeah. So I give him peace for that. I definitely give him peace for that.
And you know what? As much as it's be like, okay, Neil Young, NDRE, Joni Mitchell. Look, when the new This, That, and the Third drops on Friday, where you gonna be? Spotify.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big Spotify fan. I don't use Spotify very much.
No, I'm a title guy, but you know, the only reason I have Spotify is to listen. The only reason I got Spotify was when I didn't like listening to our podcast on what was it, SoundCloud?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated listening to our podcast, so I got Spotify. That's the only reason I have it.
Hey, leave us some reviews on iTunes so we can get more reviews.
Yes, we really would appreciate that.
If you're listening, go be like, man, that lone guy, he says I don't care too much.
Yeah, leave that as a comment. That's cool.
That'd be awesome, actually.
Yeah. Nikki people too, y'all can leave some.
No, they've already left them. That's fine.
They left them on some everything.
No, they left enough death threats for me. Of course, that's fine.
The world was on, the internet was on fire for a little bit over the new old heads. That's cool. All right, man. Shout out to the chat. We appreciate y'all as always. I think that's going to do it for this episode. NewOldHeads.com. All the education you need this year. Find everything. Find these too, low key.
For the kids.
We got new mugs.
Yeah, got new mugs. We appreciate the support as always. Red Always, thank you. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.